You told me how many people were mayors in your family, didn't you?
Okay.
Do that.
Well, the first mayor was Janie. Have you been up to City Hall, new City Hall?
Yes.
I collected all those pictures of the mayors. The first mayor was my best girlfriend's granddad, Mr. White. And he kind of trained my dad.
What was his first name?
JB, what they called him. And then my father, Thornton McCann. And then my cousin, which it was, like I said, it was a little problem there, but Bobby Carwell.
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband was put in, and he stayed on. He wouldn't just take it. He told me he had to just make sure that people wanted him, so he waited for his election. Then he was elected again, and he stayed on until they got their finances okay, and everything was okay with the city again, and he resigned.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Ted Ingram. Then it was Roy Drake.
I remember Drake.
That was my husband's trash man. And then I guess Ernie's the next one. Yeah, Ernie Penn, and then John Harris. How many is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. That's right.
Yeah, I was making pictures of, yeah, collected it. It wasn't as easy as it sounds to get those pictures, and then I had to get the dates that they served. And there wasn't much help of it, see?
Put it up underneath the picture?
Yeah, I got all that looked up.
What was it like when your father was mayor?
Well, actually, I was married, and so I didn't pay that much attention.
He was mayor while you were at home.
I didn't pay that much attention. And,
Did you say anything about it?
yeah, you can talk about it different times, but like I say, I just taken life in strides. Of course, when my husband was on there, I learned about, a lot about it.
Any particular issues that came up that you remember?
Well, the main thing when my husband was there is to get the finances back in because they were broke.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember that the attorney was Lamar Pettis in Fayetteville. He's a good attorney. And one month, I think they had $25 to split. They didn't take pay, so they split it or something. They said they get a hamburger.
What was his last name?
Well, Pettis.
P-E-T-T-I-N?
P-E-T-U-S, I think. He and his wife are both attorneys in Fayetteville. And I wanted him to stay on longer, but he was starting to have health problems, and so I guess he knew what, he was having trouble.
Your husband?
See, he ended up having a heart transplant. So, anyway, I was, my dad was the second one, my cousin was the next one, and then my husband was the next one. So, and I've served on the planning commission, and I've served on the city council, so I'm really interested in.
How long have you done that?
I was afraid you'd ask me that. I don't even know.
A long
time. Yeah, a long time. And I was approached before John Harris got on there to serve as mayor, to run as mayor. And I told him that I did not feel qualified for that. I wouldn't do that. But it just seems to me that should be a man's job anyway. Not that women couldn't do it because they could, but right now the city is facing so many expensive things, that we hadn't even had to deal with before.
Like,
Well, like the road from the grade school to straighten out the curves and everything, make it safe for the kids.
to do some new grade school.
And they would come across next to the bank, they have it stuck in there. And to begin with, they had told us they would go together with us, Fayetteville would, because it helped them go in and out too. They saw how much the bridge was going to cost, and we're on our own now, but it's going to cost us $2.5 million. And that's minor compared to some of the things that are coming up.
Like what?
The sewer and the water and all that. We need to not be under someone's thumb. Right now we're under Fayetteville.
Right.
And I'm not trying to make this political, so I'll get off this. But they're really expensive things. I mean, you could go for years and not have this hit you.
Right, but at some point it needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, we could go for years and deal with things, but not deal with it that much money. But these things, we're growing until we need it. We're really...
How much has Farmington grown? Do you have an idea?
Shoot, I can remember when it was down in the hundreds.
Like 300-400?
It was way before that for a long time. I should ask my sister. She's better remembering that.
And now we're over 3,000.
Yeah, probably quite a bit over. And they'll say we'll probably double.
Really? How quickly?
Well, we have a moratorium set on us, so that we can only do so much building. When we had so many, they're self-imposed.
Because of the sewer.
Yeah. And so, well, like out there by the the Methodist church that they're building,
Right.
I think that man said he was going to put 15 homes, 100, let me get back, 1,500 homes there.
Wow.
And then there's, of course, some of the things that are in Fayetteville are in our school district, so we have to keep up for them, And across the road here by Hancock Farms, the people have bought that. And they want to put, I think, 500 homes there. And there's just a lot of building that, people will, there won't be anything left, any land left. You just have to ask me a question because I can't think.
Okay, well, how do you feel about Farmington growing so much?
My husband says he wishes he would quit, but I'm all for it. It causes more problems. Of course, the police and everything have more problems, but it's just part of life. And I can remember a time when people would maybe want to move in here, but they wouldn't want their kids to go to school out here. And it's just the opposite.
Because the schools weren't good enough.
Yeah, it's just the opposite now. People want their kids in school out here because we have such a good reputation and a good school system. And we keep growing. I'm probably the time they get in the new grade school, they're already outgrown.
When do they plan to be in there?
Well, I think they said they're ahead of time now, and then probably will be through in December. So they've got to decide. I shouldn't be speaking for Mr. Wright, but they said they had to decide if they're going to change in the midterm or wait, I bet they do, but
Will the road be done by then?
no, I don't think so. No, we won't. Because we had decided we put that on the ballot.
Okay.
We decided that much money that the people should say,
Right.
What they want to do, do they want to, do this or not. And because if they don't, we won't be able to build it right now. So, ask me something.
What even about other Farmington businesses that have come and gone or still here, whatever?
Well, of course, the old Miss I call her Miss McNeil's store is still there, but Bailey's had that furniture store down, but she's going out of business. I found it real strange. I asked them, I said, here you fought to have this highway moved to the other side, and now you're not going to be there. And they said, well, we just don't want it torn down. And I agree, I don't want it torn down either, but I hated that it's taken some of the things on the other side, which meant something to me too, because like Robbins was a post office, my first post office.
So that's going to be
it will probably take like half of it, so it wouldn't do any good, And the little house beside it, I remember the people there, the Thompsons, and the little house right next to the Cardinal. The Lemons on that also, one has that big house.
Right.
And and it was Miss Tony's house, and I can remember them, so, I hate for all those to be torn down.
Sure.
I wish that I had taken a movie camera and taken pictures before they were destroyed, like Phillips's grocery store.
Right.
I just didn't think.
What was Mrs. McNeil's store like?
She sold a lot of things in there. She sold more than just groceries. She had like dry goods and things like that. She sold quite a bit of stuff. And that was one of our favorite places to get a Coke. I think it was RC's who liked to drink with peanuts in it.
Peanuts?
Peanuts in
Oh,
RC, yeah.
Was she good to kids?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. can never be mistreated by the shopkeepers. And those are the ones that stayed in the longest, even though that one big long building there next to Joni's, or kid's place, it's been there a long time. It changed so many hands that I can remember, several different things here, but I don't know what it was originally. Margie could probably tell you that. She got a better memory than I do.
There was the White store, the McNeil store, and the Phillips store.
And those were the main ones.
Any other businesses?
Well, over where Robbins is, and it was, like I say, it was the first post office, and Russell and Claire Rolls rented, and they had an apartment behind it, in the back part of it, and they lived there for a long time. And then I think it's when it's moved over next to the kids' place down there.
Right, that little brick building.
And then it's been in 2 buildings over on that side since then. And then there was places before that. I think at one time White's had it out on their side.
Okay.
And then I heard that at one time, when I say lemons, they're the ones that had that big house, that they had the hall, use the hall. They would use it for a post office. That's probably one of the first ones I was there. I can remember them talking about things, but I didn't remember that there was a distillery. I've seen pictures. Have you seen this annual here? This is the year my son was in charge, and it's bicentennial year. And
I've heard of it.
It goes, maybe one page will be old time, and then one page, up to date. And up here, there was a picture that they had all the grades, the graduates. Started in 1928. Yeah, I hope that they do another annual sometime and bring it up to date. I'd like to buy it. But that's got a lot of old pictures in it. This one had, that was the old grade school right there.
Right. This is 1976. I've heard of it.
That's when my son was in charge, and they did a good job.
Was Stark Brothers still here?
Yeah, I remember Stark Brothers being here until I got ready to, right after that, when they quit doing anything, sold to the school, I believe.
And when was that about, do you recall? When did they leave?
Margie could tell you that for sure, because that was her dad.
Yeah.
They used to have a train station here, too.
You remember that?
No, I don't remember, but actually the train that went along the highway, right next to the highway, came through the bottom down here, because down here by the creek there's still a railroad tie there. And so I checked into that, and across the highway of 170, there is that's where the railroad station was. And I guess they had a lot of business people, they strawberries and things.
You remember that?
No, I don't remember. I just hearing it.
It must have been on its way out.
Yeah, and they said that one day someone came through in a train car, picked up the building and all and took it down because I guess it was because of the war. They needed the elder mail and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So some of these
That was during the war then.
yeah. Some of these pictures of the barns are gone, and that's another thing. I wish that I had taken pictures before they were all gone, because barns fascinating.
Yeah. That's kind of holy at the time.
Yeah. But the kids did a good job going around there trying to find everything they could.
Oh, yeah. And your son was in high school that year, or was he an adult already?
He was in high school. No, he left when he was after he went to college. Got an architect degree. In the last year of architect school, he decided he wanted to work in the film. And really, they didn't have things at the university. That's the Shin House, what I call the Shin House, I believe. Does it say young
No, is that over on, who's Creek Road?
Yes, you know, they look a lot like that other one from a distance.
What is it, an arcade or something like that?
I think that's what this man, last man there, named it. I think Mays was the one that built
Yeah, I
it,
think so too.
because I'm kin to the Mays.
I've never seen it. So Farmington was a good place for your kids to grow up as well?
Oh, yeah. They enjoyed it, and both my girls live here now. My youngest one didn't for a while after she finished college. She moved to Tulsa, and she moved back to Little Rock, but they ended up bringing their family back here too, so.
Good.
I think it went out.
Well, we can come back and do the school thing. In the churches.
Now, I heard them talk about that old, and there's a distillery I was talking about.
Okay.
I didn't ever see it,
Well, that's a-
but when I was little and go take my walk through the woods there was still the rail, still in the ground.
Uh-huh.
I probably it was still there until they built the little shopping center down there.
Uh-huh. Do you have any other stories you've heard of old time Farmington? That's what you have, but you've heard of.
I probably do. I have to think for a minute. They had two old school buildings like that. I don't know if these are the same ones or not.
I think they are. There's a hole in the wall there, a hole in the wall here.
Yeah. I'd hate to have to come to school there, freeze to death. It looks like it.
You know why Farmington was called Farmington?
Oh, I think they said because it was good farming land.
Was it originally called Ingalls Mill?
He's the one that bought up the most land, I think, and then sold it off. I think in the I hate to say this for sure, but in the late 1800s or something like that, my family bought their part of it.
Late 1800s. Where did your family come from?
Tennessee,
The
the Cannon family.
Uh-huh.
Well, actually, the ones I have the most news on is that her side of the family is Towson. We went clear to Tennessee once, we was going to look all this stuff up. And we ran out of time. Just by the time we got ready to have to come home, we found out that there was a town further up the way, and it was called Buchanan. So we knew that's where they got their part.
Uh-huh.
I hated that they took their stained glass lenses out and put them, I mean, I know they were putting them in a new church, but I wish they put some back in there. It looked a lot better.
I kind of regret that they moved.
Have they moved over?
I don't know.
I don't think that, I don't know if they moved or not here.
It's such a part of Farmington.
Yeah, and no telling what will happen to it. I'm afraid someone will just tear it down.
You see?
Oh, I hope not, because it's been a long time.
Was that little house next to it originally the parsonage? It's not on here, but
Yes,
I figured it was.
I don't know, I think they just rented it out now.
Yeah, for a long time people had a parsonage.
And Broyles is after they moved out the back of that post office.
Uh-huh.
They built across from the church.
Oh, directly.
And I pretty much helped them keep going all these years. In fact, when they died, I think they left them quite a bit of money. And they probably used it on the new church. I said they're going to turn over their grave. But, because they were so fond of that church.
They were one of the founders.
Mm-hmm.
They did a good job of it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of, I find snapshots in there. It's real fun to go through. Some of them have the names and some of them don't. I'm trying to pick out this. So, yeah, I know. Now, Lawrence Woods is a good one that knows names of some of them. You said you've interviewed him.
A year ago.
Is that an old picture? Yeah, that was down at Miss McNeil's. And
Okay.
Margie's dad, let's see what it was. There he is right there. They have it, Margie's. Well, I say that, I see someone else look like him. That looks like him, but I don't know. But anyway, shows they all gathered around. Because there really probably wasn't anything to do. It'd be so much trouble to get into town.
Fred Starr went to school here.
He taught at a long time ago. He was one of my oldest sister's teachers. He coached basketball for him too, I believe. I remember, heard all my life about my dad, because my dad played sports till he was old. But when he was younger, he boxed and he played baseball both. And of course, they didn't have a team out here, and he didn't have a car. And so they had a story written about him in a little magazine that said that he would go to work and he'd walk home. Then he'd walk back into town and box, and then walk back home again. He quit boxing. He knocked a man out, I think it was for 72 hours or something like that. It's a long time. It scared me, but he killed someone and quit. But he played baseball.
He went to school in Farmington also.
Yeah, it's strange. Like I say, it really baffles me about these trees that they played under, and I played under, my grandkids were playing under.
Right.
That little building out there beside it used to be the garage.
Right.
I mean, of course, they wouldn't help them do anything now, but they started to tear that down a few years ago, and they had a lot of people complain.
I bet.
Because there's not much they could put there anyway, maybe hold one more car, park and
And it's
so
one of the few buildings left from the original. It's in good shape too.
Yeah.
It's in good shape.
Yeah, well, I would like to look in there and see if they had one of those little chairs in there that I used when I was in grade school.
Little desks then. Did you have an inkwell?
I didn't use any ink. I didn't really have one there. No, I don't think. I can remember that my best girlfriend, Miss White's granddaughter, Shirley, she would bring gobs of papers to us because she had money. My mothers did. And they'd make her pass it around to everybody. She lived with her grandparents most of the time because her parents lived across the river and they couldn't depend on the river to,
Oh, okay.
be low enough. And so basically she